Today, I'm going to be talking about a topic that I feel like I haven't covered as much as maybe I should have or need to start covering. I don't know. I've just been doing a lot of thinking about money and finances lately. And not from a standpoint of, just trying to make a ton of money, get rich, stuff like that. But as the title suggests, what up, Derek? What up, Easton? As the title suggests, I feel like on this channel, in this community, in this family, we talk a lot about happiness. We talk a lot about freedom, things of that nature. And I'm really starting to see that the biggest hurdle, one of the biggest hurdles for a lot of people when it comes to happiness and freedom is money. You know what I mean? Hey, Ira, thank you. Coming through early with the super chat. Thank you. Super chat squad in the building. That's love. Thank you. Ira, thank you for the love. I appreciate that. I appreciate that abundance so early. I'm starting to see that for a lot of people, the biggest hurdle to happiness and the freedom and doing the things they really want to do in life is the money. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, if we're sitting here having serious discussions on a regular basis, excuse me. Hey, Mike01 Davis, thank you. That's love. Thank y'all so much. Thank you. Super chat squad in the building early. You know, all my broke folk checking in, showing love. Thank you. I'm not saying y'all were broke. I'm just saying someone said broke folks check in. So I said broke folks checking in. We all in here. On some level, we all broke. But I'm like, if we're gonna have a serious discussion on a regular basis about happiness and joy and living your life and freedom and all that, well, we got to start spending some time on the money. We have to. Even if maybe it's a subject I don't mind talking about, but like I personally don't like the way so many other people talk about money on the internet that sometimes I stay away from it. You know what I mean? Because so many people talk about money and it's always about making money. That's all it's about. Yeah, I realized something because I've been thinking about money lately. I realized something. We are programmed two things about money. Jennifer, thank you. That's love. Super Chat Squad in the building. That is love. Hey, it feels good to be missed y'all too. Thank you so much, Jennifer. And I've been seeing your comments. I've been keeping up with your progress. I've been seeing that. Thank you so much, Super Chat Squad. I realized something about money and what we're taught. We're taught two things. Make a lot of money. Do whatever you can to make a lot of money. Do whatever you got to do. Go to school, make a lot of money, right? That's one thing. We're taught to make a lot of money. And then at the same time, simultaneously, we're taught to spend a lot of money. And that's it. You know what I mean? If you think about it, from like birth on, the two things you're taught about money are to make a lot of money, and then the advertising, the marketing, everyone around you tells you to spend a lot of money. That's it. If you make a lot of money and you spend it the right way, people will see that you're successful, right? That's all. That's all we're really given. Y'all, I'm always saying it would be so easy thrown between friggin' social studies and and PE. They could throw a class about money management. You know, between teaching us about Romeo and Juliet and, the Pythagorean theorem, they could throw a class in there about money. I feel like it's about to start raining. I hope it doesn't get raining so bad that it ruins the stream, because I really want to do this one. You know what I mean? So all we're really taught, you need to make a lot of money and then simultaneously, spend a lot. And I feel like that's why everybody's broke. Think about it. If we're social creatures, so we take our cues from people around us. If all we've ever seen is people trying to make a ton of money and then people spending a lot of money, we think that's what you're supposed to do. So if I make X amount and then I think the thing to do is to spend X amount, I'm always going to be broke, right? And now they're like, oh, if you don't make enough money to spend a lot of money, we'll give you that extra money We'll loan you that extra money. You don't even have to make a ton of money no more. Make or have access to a lot of money, spend a lot of money. That's all we're taught. And if you do that, you're going to be broke, especially if you're going into debt to blow money, to spend money. Not only do you owe all the money you just made, you owe all the money you're going to make next year, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. That's why we broke. And it is hard to get to the real joy, happiness, meaningful things in life when your money ain't right. It's hard. It's hard. Now, can you be broke and happy? Yes. Can you be broke and have your joy? Yes. However, I think there's a mindset you have to have. Like, I think it's extremely hard for you to be broke and happy if you're chasing riches, right? If you're chasing the big money, if your goals in life all revolve around like making money, I think it's hard to be happy when you're broke because you're not fulfilling any of your life goals. You know what I'm saying? But I think what we really should be being taught is the goal is here. I think there's like two goals. And a lot of this, I'm just like, free flowing because I was actually thinking about it when I was driving today. I think the first goal should be to be comfortable, right? When it comes to life and finances, I think we should say, hey, my first goal, I want to be comfortable. You know what I mean? I want to be able to have all the bills paid, food, clothing, shelter, little money left. I want to be comfortable. Whatever that looks like for each person, wherever they're at, I think that should be our first goal. I think that's what we should be being taught. It's like, hey, do what you got to do to live a comfortable life. Be comfortable. And then secondly, all right, how do I achieve financial freedom? How do I get to the point where I can wake up every morning and do what I want to do and not have to like worry about the money? I think getting to a place where you're comfortable and like don't have to worry about money. And then if you want to take it the next step, okay, how do I get like financially free, whatever that looks like for me? Those should be our goals in life. Those should be the things from a young age we should be focused on. And if they were, I think many more of us would achieve them. And I think even if you're broke currently, if comfort, I just don't want to have to worry about money. And that's what I'm working towards. I think if that's your goal, it is a lot easier in the current moment to be happy. Hey, I know temporarily I'm a little low, I'm busted, whatever. My coins ain't where I want them to be, but I know, give me bop, 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 X amount of time, I'm going to hit that comfort level, I'm going to be good. Because now your mind is thinking about, whatever comfort looks like to you. You know what I mean? I want to have all the bills paid. I want the kids to eat every night. Whatever, you know what I mean? Like, it ain't about just amassing mindless, large amounts of money. It's like, oh no, I got these things I'm trying to take care of. Boom. And as you get closer to that, it's a better feeling. You know what I mean? If we're out here just trying to be millionaires, you can make good money and still be miserable because you ain't, you can make 80 a year, be miserable. That ain't nowhere near $1 million. You know what I mean? But if you try to be comfortable, you hit that 80 and that's comfort for you. Boom. You good. You good. And I think that's why, so many people are so miserable, especially like in America, other countries similar to ours. Our problem, ladies and gentlemen, and let's be real, our problem isn't that we don't make enough money a lot of times, especially if we cultivated good money habits from, youth. If we have been trained properly about what to do with our money, and we're going to touch a little on that, but if we have been trained properly about what to do with money from a young age, most of us are making or have made enough money that we would be okay. I'm not saying everywhere in the world. I'm not saying everybody, but the average person among us. If we had handled business and like knew what to do with our money from 17 when we got our first job, now in our 30s and 40s, we would be good. because we made enough money. We make good money. It's just that we don't know what to do once we get the money. And so we stay broke and miserable, and it's hard to get to happiness. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Today's one of them days I'm kind of free flowing, so if I'm not shouting everybody out, love y'all. Thank y'all for being a part of this. Here's something crazy too, and I wish I had the book. I've been reading the book, The Philosophy of Money. I'll do a review on it or something later. But one of the things I was reading this morning, and it really struck a chord with me, and this goes back to them telling us you need to make a ton of money. True wealth, you need to make a lot of money, spend a lot of money, is what they tell us. True wealth isn't it's not the money you make. Like really getting like wealth and knowing what to do with your money comes after you make the money. Us regular people, we're just so obsessed with making money. But like the real work starts after you make the money. It's what you do with the money. And most of us have no clue what to do with the money because ain't nobody ever told us what to do with the money. We're so focused on, if I make enough money, I'll be whatever. Whereas the people who really know about money, you give them any type of money, they're going to make moves with it. Hey, XXX, thank you. That is love. Super Chat Squad, thank you. So hi, Tim. My goal is to say thanks for another stream. Hey, thank you. And you're welcome. We don't know what to do once we get the money. And that's how you build wealth. That's how you get financial freedom. We all know people who make good money always broke. Right? We all know people make good money, $10,000 credit card debt and growing. Yet we all keep thinking, I just need to make more money. And sometimes you do. But if we don't know what to do with the money, it don't matter if we make more money because we just gonna blow more money. You know what I mean? Like I really didn't think about that. I'm like, man, it's the after you make the coins, after you get the paycheck, everything you do after that is the issue. That's the issue. That's what keeps us broke. We're living paycheck to paycheck because we're spending our whole paycheck. A lot of people's paychecks nice. A lot of people make nice paychecks, still broke, because we don't know what to do afterwards. After we get the money, we don't know what to do. And that's the game. I've been saying this a lot lately to people I know in real life. I'm like, money is a game, and I want to figure the game out. Not because, I want to be a millionaire. This whole money thing is a game, and I don't like the fact that I don't know how to play it. I tell y'all what really got me. Let me get a swig of water here, folks. I tell y'all what really got me, made me realize, there's more to this whole money thing. Taxes, paying taxes. Okay, so bear with me. We're gonna go down a little journey here. When I first started working, late 90s, I remember, you don't know nothing about taxes. So I remember the first time like I'd worked, my sister, when I got like my W-2s, I'm like, what is this? And my sister was like, you gotta pay your taxes. She was like, I go to this lady to do my taxes. Come with me, she'll do your taxes, whatever. A couple months later, I get a check. I'm like, what's this? She's like, that's your tax return. Like you paid in too much taxes, you get money back. I'm like, bet, okay. So that was like how I did taxes in the beginning. Went to my sister's tax lady, got my little coins. As I got older, out on my own, I started going to H&R Block. Go to an HR Block, they do my taxes, I get my tax return, whatever, very simple. Then, as the internet came to maturity, and I got a little older, I started hearing people talk about like TurboTax, Tax Act, places where you can do it yourself. And the last couple of times I've been to TurboTax, I'm like, why am I giving them $200? Like, what is she doing? You know what I mean? So I started doing taxes myself. But my taxes were still very plug and play. You get your W-2, you plug it in, bop, bop, bop. It wasn't until I started doing, say, like gig work And honestly, my YouTube income got a little, bigger, that my taxes got a little more involved. Okay. And so the first time, I still use the tax program, plugged it all in, I figured out how to do it. But it was very eye-opening, ladies and gentlemen. The first time, like, I owed money, especially the first time I owed money. Okay. When the first time I had to send the IRS thousands of dollars, it was a problem for me mentally. Okay. I don't know if you've ever had to send the IRS a check, but that was a problem for me because I wasn't expecting it. So of course I was talking about it that whole year with a lot of my friends, my dad, some of my friends who own businesses, and they were all saying like, oh, you have to really look into your deductions and blah, 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 blah. I was having some really good conversations with some people who've been self-employed a long time, giving me game. So the next year rolled around, and I'm looking into it, Hey, Mr. Turtles, how you doing? How you doing? Super Chat Squad. Thank you. Said hi, friend. New name now, sending good vibes. Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate the love. So the next tax season rolls around, and I'm all over my deductions. You know what I mean? I'm pulling up websites. I'm looking at stuff, because you can use the software programs, the internet programs, but a lot of times there'll be categories. But if you don't know that you have a deduction in that category, you're not going to break down the category, go in there. You know what I mean? This time I'm all in every little, do you have this deduction? Let me look at boom, boom, boom. I'm doing my research. I'm on the Googles. I'm all over it. And I'm seeing, because this year too, I did a lot better saving receipts, keeping track of stuff. I'm seeing the amount I owe go down as I'm, putting in my deductions, all my other stuff. Hundreds, thousands of dollars. Okay. And that's when it dawned on me, because I could have just put all my stuff in, owed X amount. Because I did a little research, learned a little bit about how this money thing works, got my proper deductions, I legally was able to save thousands of dollars, hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars. You know what I mean? And that's what really opened my eyes. I'm like, oh, this is, because you'd hear before, oh, rich people don't pay any taxes, blah, blah, blah. And you think, oh, they got these fancy lawyers who know the loopholes. I'm like, bro, I'm not even using loopholes. Like I'm following, this is all legit legal. When I didn't know, I didn't know. But once I knew and learned, I'm saving myself all this money. And I'm like, oh, boom, this is money I saved. I could have worked less, made less money because I'm saving. You know what I mean? That really opened my eyes. I'm like, oh, it's what you know. The problem is we're not taught a lot about how this whole money thing works, not just taxes, just the money in general. We're not taught a lot about how it works. So we can't take full advantage of the money. And that's really the point, is get your coins. But then if we can learn to take full advantage of it, then we don't have to work as hard. We can get to that comfort level quicker, and then to that next level of financial freedom. A lot of times it's not the money holding us back. It's what we do with the money. So I'm like, I'm going to learn what to do with the money. You know what I mean? A lot of times people only try to figure out the proper way to handle money after they make a little money and lose it. You ever notice that? You hear a lot of people say, yo, I did really well in business, blah, 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 lost it all. Now they start learning about money. Dave Ramsey, for example, made some really good money. I think it was in real estate, lost it all. Now he's the money guy. A lot of times we don't, all we do is spend. I see this, Bella. That's what we're taught. Make a lot, spend a lot. It's not until we really get broke, or maybe we get our coins up really nice and we feel in a certain type of way about our money level, and then we lose it all, that we be like, wait a second. I mean, even think about all the stimulus money we got. A lot of us. What did we do with it? Where did it go? You know what I mean? Where's it at? How many people can point to where our stimulus money really went? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times it's not until we get some money and lose it that we start being like, I need to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing with this money. Because it's a game. And the people who've been taught the rules, part of the reason the wealthy stay wealthy is because they're taught the rules. It's just like part of their upbringing. Oh, if you get this, you can do this with it. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, really? Okay. Us spend. Us spend. That's all. I'm telling you, that's all we get. Oh, you can buy that. You can buy that. You can buy that. Most people spend as much money as they can, whether they have it in hand or not. I see you, Nessa, pay bills with your stimulus. Nice. Let's go. See, some people know. Most people spend as much money as they can. They got as big a house as the bank will give them. They got as nice a car as the bank will let them get. They spend as much money as they can. A lot of people are in as much debt as they can be in as well. If their credit card limit goes up to 10 grand, they $10,000 in debt come 2 months. I mean, even like, and it's crazy to me, even when you do start to like get into good money practice, for example, like saving money, people will argue with you. You know what? I think I'm gonna start saving money. It don't make any sense to save money. The dollar's depreciating. Yes, that is true. The dollar has been steady depreciating for the past 100 years. However, if I save up $1,000 and then, something breaks on my car and I have, it's $800 to fix and I have that $1,000 there and I can use that $800 to fix it, I'm going to be happy I saved that $1,000. I'm not going to worry that it depreciated 0.20% in the 6 months I was saving it. I'm not going to be like, yeah, that was great. I got to get my alternator fixed, but man, that money depreciated. I should have blown it. You know what I mean? Like that. People, even when you try to do good money practices, people will try to tell you shouldn't. Oh, I'm gonna start saving money. Oh, it's pointless to save money. You should invest it all. Investing is smart, yes. But if you're talking to somebody who just started saving, let them figure saving out. Then we can go to investing. Yes, I'm a firm believer. You really only need to know, boiled down, I think you make money, you spend as little as possible while still enjoying life, doing the things you want to do. You handle your business, you spend as little as possible. You do whatever. I personally add this one. You help others. You do whatever your charitable work. Okay. You save some, you invest some. You make it, you spend what you got to spend. You save some, you invest some, you're generous with some. I really think that's the 5 things we got to do. I'm going to flesh that out in the future. Y'all going to see Tim's 5 financial tips or whatever. But I really think that's it. The problem is we mess up on spend some, we make it and we spend it. We only get to 2. we only get to 2. But it's like, saving. Save your money. Don't listen to people when they try to tell you saving money is bad. Because saving money leads to that, what we're talking about, freedom. Saving money leads to freedom. Knowing you have some money put aside totally alters the decisions we make in life. Knowing you have some money put aside, whatever that is, the more you do it, the bigger it gets. Basic math. It totally alters the moves you make in life. Because there are a lot of moves that we could be making on the money we're making now. If we had been smarter with how much we saved and we just put aside 10%, talking to myself too, if we just put aside 10%, if someone came to us at 17 and said, hey, right now, well, you ain't got no bills, you ain't got no kids, you ain't got no too bad of vices, hopefully, save 10% of your paycheck. Your $200-$300 paycheck you're getting every 2 weeks, working part-time, put $30 of that away. If someone had came to us and told us that, and we had listened, that's a big if. If we had listened, fast forward 15 years of working, even if we just saved the money, we could be made, there could be a lot more leeway in the decisions we're making in life, especially when it comes to like work. You might be able to take that sabbatical, take that gap year. Or you might be like, you know what, I'm gonna take this money and I'm gonna start, my side hustle, get my business going. How many of us would really have missed that $20, $30, $40, $50 every pay period? Appreciate you hitting the thumbs up, Judy. How many of us will really have missed that money? But think about the different moves we could be making now if we had that money. That's where I really started thinking. I'm like, because a lot of times we think, oh, I only need to save money if I have a reason to save. I'm like, I'm gonna start saving money for the stuff I don't know about. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool if you're like, hey, I'm gonna save X amount, put a down payment on a car, house, whatever, treat myself to a trip. Cool. But I think it's also cool to save just to save. I got a friend, one of the people who gave me a lot of the advice about like taxes and stuff. People are always coming to him because they know like he saves money, they know he typically has a few dollars, or somewhere he can get to it, and people are always coming to him and be like, hey, my grandpa just died. He left a lot of stuff. I'm about to throw it all away. If any of it's worth anything, you want to come by and see if you want to buy any of it, or I'm just going to like, you know what I mean? Like, or someone would be like, hey, I had this collection I've been collecting for whatever, but my car just died. I'm trying to sell it. Come by and look at it. If you think it's worth anything, buy it. He's constantly getting great deals on cash stuff because he has the cash. It's usually people like, hey, I kind of need it within the next week or so. Boom, boom, boom. He gets in there. He's constantly, every time I go see him, he's got new stuff. Hey, I bought this for so-and-so. I flipped it for that. Bah, 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 bah. I'm like, where do you find these deals? That people just come to me because he has the money, because he saves money. That's one thing. I'm like, so I say that to say, I think that saving money and having it on hand opens us up to different opportunities and even blessings. I think the universe works within the framework of what you got to work with. Retired 219. Hold on. Good to see you. Super Chat Squad. Thank you. That is love. Always good to see you. So Tim, I had 30K in credit card debt in my 30s and retired at 57 and single. Living a simple life is key. Let's go. Get started today, everyone. Exactly, Retired 219. Thank you for sharing that story. 30K credit card debt in your 30s, retired at 57. Wow. Get started. Hey, I mean, you know what I mean? Dang, I didn't know you had that much credit card debt. No, just joking. That's a great story. Thank you so much, Super Chat Squad. That's love. Good to see you. I firmly believe the universe, God, works with what you got to work with. You know what I mean? So there might be some blessings, some abundance out there, an opportunity that could be meant for you. But like, if you ain't got the finances, why would it even bring it up? Why would you even be shown it? You know what I mean? I firmly believe that whatever opportunities we can take advantage of are the ones that will be shown to us. Because if you can't take advantage of it, you know what I mean? Like, why would it just be dangled in your face? Hey, if you had $5,000, this would be a great opportunity. You ain't got it, but I thought I'd show you. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way I'm gonna start looking at saving money. Is like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. And I just naturally was a saver. But I think a good mindset is like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this, but I'm just stacking it. Not because I want to buy, a Telfie bag. Not for me, not because I want to buy more Lexi Hole rookie cards. Those are the type of thing. Now, trust me, folks, I know about spending money. It's WNBA season. I have to hold myself back. I love a good trading card. There's a Trinity Rodman rookie card for $114 on eBay right now. Daddy wants it. But I can't justify buying it. Trinity Rodman is one of the best soccer players in the United States, and she's incidentally Dennis Rodman's daughter. I just blew some of y'all's minds. Dennis Rodman's daughter is one of the best women's soccer players in the United States. Nobody knows about this. I do think that card is worth $114 and I could buy it as an investment and grow my money, but I can't right now. I got to save money. I shared that story to let y'all know I get it. You want to spend it. I get it. But there might be opportunities further down the line where that saved money, more of it, you can do more with it. We can't let people talk us out of saving money. It annoys me when you say, save. I got videos, save money. People are like, oh, saving money is pointless, blah, blah. So you prefer we just stay broke. Oh, if you save money, the dollars you're losing is valuable. But that t-shirt I buy for $50 that I wear twice and then never wear again, that didn't lose its value? That didn't depreciate? That brand new car you buy off the lot for $80,000, it depreciates 10% the moment you cross the line from the dealership to the road. Why did my, oh, sorry, my screen went dark. I'm like, what's going on? Anyway, we still here. Why did I'm sorry, my screen went dark. I'm like, what's going on? It ain't bothering me. I just liked it bright. Or maybe the clouds came over or something. Anyway, maybe just some cloud cover came up. Try to talk people out of save money? That's a good thing. Rainy day money. I firmly believe too that, like, you know, being generous with your money. I did a short about generosity over hustle, and I believe that in the long run, I think you could spend every waking hour trying to hustle and make more money, but you probably come out further ahead just being generous with working less and being more generous. I haven't proven this, but I think it's true. And I think that's definitely one of the money lessons that, like, is never taught. You know, I think that's one of the, if you've been blessed with any type of financial abundance, I think you are 1,000 times better off sharing that with other people and on whatever level you're comfortable with. I think you're better off with your happiness just in general, because, like, you're helping somebody else out, but also I think financially. You don't do it for this reason. You don't say, oh, I'm gonna help people because I know I'll get the money back, maybe double. You don't do it for that reason, but, like, you can know that's gonna happen and still do it out of the goodness of your heart. And, like, well, here's the thing too, you can know it's gonna happen and still be surprised. No matter how many times, like, unexpectedly some financial abundance comes in my life, I'm still surprised, even though I know. Well, part of this, Tim, is because you try to be a very generous person, so stuff's gonna come back sometimes, but I'm always still surprised. I'll get a random check in the mail. What is this? Oh, you were part of some settlement. You got 57. This happened to me a couple weeks ago. Part of some settlement. I got $57. I was nervous cashing the check. I said, is this real? But it was real. But boom, just a random $57 check. Where does this come from? You know what I mean? It's little stuff like that happens all the time. So I just wanted to throw that in there because very few people, when they're talking money, will say give some of it away. But I think it's just what you give out, you give back. If you're generous, others will be generous. The universe is generous. God is. You'd be like, people don't. It's there. It's there. You know, and the thing too about the spending, I think we're programmed to consume. We're programmed to spend. We're programmed to show. You know, I think one of the biggest reasons, you know, a lot of the money we spend is our ego spending it because we want other people to see that we're spending money and that we're successful. And this is because, once again, we're social creatures. We're not, if I don't really care about a fancy car, but I buy a fancy car It's because I want other people to see me in the fancy car and say, oh, Tim's made it. Tim's successful. That's really what I crave. I crave people saying, oh, Tim's made something of his life. He's successful. Because at the end of the day, all the bells and whistles and stuff you can get in a fancy car, you can get in a Hyundai. You know what I mean? They got heated seats and all that. If you can get it in a luxury car, you can get it in a luxury model of a much cheaper car. It ain't the car. A lot of times. Unless you just really love, it's okay to love certain brands. But a lot of times, what we really are craving is people looking at us in that outfit, in that car, driving past that huge house we live in and saying, oh, that person has made it. That person's successful. We want recognition. We want to feel like we've accomplished something. And if we can wrap our head around that and get over that, or realize that there's other ways of getting that, it's just as powerful for someone to look at you and be like, you know what? Sheila is that's a good person. You know what I mean? You know, Sheila always has a good attitude. She's always helping other people. She's always there when you need her. Like, Sheila's a good person. That's the same, if not better, recognition than people. Oh, Sheila got that new whatever. Okay, that's gone instantly. Next week, whatever that new thing is the old thing. But us being good people, honest, and like the real qualities that people look up to, that real people look up to, that can last forever. And most of them don't cost money. You know what I mean? So if we can ask ourselves, does my ego want to buy this, or do I want to buy it? A good way to know it's your ego wanting to buy it if you have to show it to other people. If you can buy it and nobody ever see it, it might be you. I just really like this. But if you got to instantly, oh, bro, you got to see the thing, that's probably your ego wanting to buy that. And your ego, it don't stop. It doesn't stop. Because when it comes to money and possessions, once you hit one level, you start looking at the people at the next level up, and you want to be on their level. Excuse me. That's why you have multimillionaires and billionaires still, you know, not happy with their money level because they want to be on the next one. Ego always craves more. Exactly. Like you're not going to win that game. But if we're spending our money on the things we need, handling our business, and a little more, like I always say, and a little more. There's nothing wrong with spending your money on experiences you really want to do. Things you really want to buy. But I found that that, because I think there aren't as many. There's a billion things you can buy. There's not a billion things you really want to buy, or I really want to buy, that means something to us. There's not a billion experiences that at this moment you or I really want to do and will spend the money on. It's a lot cheaper when we're authentic with our purchases. Like, it's a lot easier to live the simple life when you break down why you're spending what you're spending, and you only spend the money you need to spend or the money you really want to spend. It's just not as much to blow it on. You'd be like, nah, I don't really care about that. You know what? I don't really care about that. It's just not. It's easy. And I think that's where a lot of people's problem is, because they're doing that ego spending. Got to show off. And I get it. Not downing people, but got to show off. Got to let people know I've made it. It's like, you know what? There's people out there who already look up to you and think you're a great person. If you're a great person. Before all that, the purpose of making money is not to spend it immediately. I think the purpose is to spend some of it, save some of it, grow some of it, you know. And we definitely gonna. I do believe in like investing, totally. And that's something else I'm gonna work on. I don't want to talk too much about that, because that's where it really starts to get sticky. When you start talking about investing, that's when it really starts to get sticky. You know, you go down that road, it gets, my advice on that is do your homework, invest your money in stuff you believe in, that you think can grow your wealth, but also know you could lose it all. That that's another thing. People like it does kind of get to me when people go around talking about like surefire investments, and I'm like, no investment is surefire. There are some that yes are safer than others, some that are very volatile, some you're probably going to lose your money, but like there's no such thing as surefire. Let's start there. Any money you invest, you could possibly lose. That's another reason why some of it, hey, you might just want to keep it savings. Even if there is, inflation chips away at it, the dollar loses its value over time. I'd rather have savings slowly diminishing than no savings at all. That's all I'm saying. And I also think that if you're comfortable, it is a risk, but if you want to grow that money, you got to find something to invest it in. Be that a type of business, stock market, real estate, whatever. The thing with investing is, I think the average person, most of us, since we weren't like brought up learning about it, we don't do any research about it. Even if you're going to use a financial advisor and you got a really good one, I think we should still do our research. A lot of this is going back to research, especially this day and age where we got the Googles, we got the Chat GPT. Okay. You can literally ask Chat GPT something and it will give you an answer. A lot of this money stuff, especially the investing, I think we need to take more time and do our research as opposed to just hearing what everybody else is talking about and like throwing our money in it. That's where a lot of people get burned. I mean, even if you take what everybody else is talking about and then do a month's worth of research, decide for yourself. Just do the research. And I think a lot of times too, we think we can't understand this stuff. And I was like that for the longest time, and not saying I'm an expert on any of this type of stuff, but the more I started looking into stock market, other stuff, I'm like, oh, this stuff ain't rocket science like they try to make it seem. The money people will always want you to think that like you're too stupid to understand any of this type of stuff because they want to charge you to tell you about how to do it. Or they don't want you to know about it at all, so they keep getting your money. But a lot of this stuff is none of it's rocket science. You can research this stuff and figure it out. If it's an investment, you're trying to figure out why you think it will be worth more in the future. Right? I don't care what it is you invest in. You're trying to figure out why you think it will be worth more money in the future. And if you can come up with a good reason that sits well with you, then put your money in it. If you can't, don't. That's what investing is at its core. But they try to, cover it up in all kinds of smoke and mirrors and big words and all this other stuff. Dude, there's a million businesses out there we can invest in, a million products we can invest in, so many things. We don't all have to deal with the same 5. Because I promise you, the real money people got money all over the place, invested in all types of things that they ain't telling you about. They'll tell you about certain ones. Oh, they'll talk about their portfolio, the stock portfolio, all that type of stuff. Oh, they'll tell you all this other stuff. They ain't gonna tell you about it. Nope. But it's out there on the Googles. Anyway, sorry, I'm sorry. I was about to start talking about trading cards again. I got my video coming. 25 alternative investments. I've already got actually I got like 28 picked out. I got to narrow it down to 25, and then do a little more research on each one, but I'm gonna do it. At the end of the day, there was a comment just popped up. I say this and people don't agree with me. All investing is gambling. All investing is gambling. You're taking a gamble because you could lose your money or you could make money or it could stay the same. It's a gamble. However, I equate it to, and this may be a horrible analogy because I don't really know anything about this, but I equate it to someone who goes to the dog track who knows nothing about dogs, or a horse race who knows nothing about horses and just pick something because it sounds cool. Oh, I like that dog's name. I like that horse's name. I'm gonna put my money on it. Versus someone who knows horse racing. The person who knows horse racing has a better chance of picking a winner, I would imagine, than the person who's never been before. And I think the same is true with investing and certain investments, possibly. Is like you got a better chance of not losing your money if you know more about it, or you put your money in like a safer investment vehicle than you do if you just pick something because they was talking about it on the news and it's super volatile. But it's still a gamble. You're going to lose a certain percentage of the time. I was reading another investment book and it was talking about that. Is like, once you wrap your head around the fact that you're going to lose on some investments that seem great but just didn't pan out for whatever reason, then it's more a numbers game of you need more wins than losses, or you need bigger wins than losses, but like you're going to lose. And I know for me, it used to be very much like, oh, I want to win every time. But now that was actually very eye-opening because I'm like, oh, I just need to win bigger than I lose, but I'm going to lose. Nobody gets it right all the time. They said Warren Buffett, most of his money came from 5 or 6, really, maybe like 8 good wins. He never talks about the hundreds of losses because he don't need to. You know what I mean? And so I think those are the type of mindsets no one ever mentions. Hey, know when you go into investing that you're going to take some losses. You just need to win bigger than you lose. That's a mindset shift as opposed to, I got to figure this out. So everything. Like I said, and it's in the title, it's hard to be happy when you're broke. And I think for a lot of us, there will be times when we're broke, There will be times when we're broke. But for a lot of us, we get blessed with the abundance to not be broke, but our actions keep us broke. And that impacts our happiness as well as our future. And I'm looking at this totally not from let's get stupid rich and like buy a yacht and burn up $100 bills on the deck of it, but more like, what do I want to do with my future? How much money do I think I'm going to need to be comfortable in that future? And how do I use my finances now to get to that? It all goes back to freedom. It all goes back to freedom. And it's like, all right, in my future, this is the level of freedom I want. There's other areas we have to look at when it comes to getting that freedom. But in the financial aspect of it, how can I use the income I got now to get to that? Or how do I need to increase my income? I think when we have a goal in mind when it comes to making money, it's easier to accomplish. And I think you can stay focused as opposed to just pulling arbitrary numbers out your ass, as what most people do. This is why people win the lottery and lose it all. What you know what I mean? Like, A, they don't know how to manage it. And B, like, they ain't got there's nothing real happening. You know what I mean? There's nothing real happening. People win the lottery and just blow money. That does nothing. When we got goals and dreams, things we already realize, this is what I'm trying to do. If you get the financials to do it, then we're going to do it. Oh, snap. I've been said if I got this, now I can do it. Yes. Okay. Boom. I feel like when we're focused on our life and what we really want to do and how we want to live our life and what we want our life to look like, it's even when it comes to money, we make better decisions. Especially probably when it comes to money, we make better decisions. The powers that be, them, the man, their goal is to have you work for them, pay you as little as possible, pay you just enough to keep you from quitting, and then to get all that meager paycheck they pay you right back. That's the goal. The money stays circulating over here with them. They'll once a week, every 2 weeks, once a month, pay out a minuscule portion of it to you, knowing you'll give it right back to them. It'll go right back in the mix. Here's the mix with the big money, the mega money. They're controlling it. They'll throw out a couple, scraps once a week, knowing we just gonna give it right back to them in a manner that means we have to, that makes us have to keep getting it from them. We're talking about overspending. We're talking about going in debt. They got you on the hook. You got to keep coming back, getting that, whatever. Getting your fix from them. It's by design that we don't learn nothing about money management. But here's the thing. Because I know somebody's going to well, no matter what you do, you always going to have to give the money back. I don't mind putting the money back into the system if I'm living the life I want to live. I don't care about the money. I don't care what's going on over here. I'll gladly throw the money right back if I'm living the life I want to live, if I've used that little pittance they threw out at me to the fullest. And hopefully I can get to a point where I don't have to go to them. I got independent ways of getting money. But even if I continue to work, because maybe I love my job or currently that's, what I got going on, I don't mind. If I'm living the life, if I'm comfortable living the life I want to live, I'm working towards financial freedom, I don't even mind getting it back. I'd much rather keep it and do the stuff I need to do, but still, you know what I mean? But the game is to have us working forever, because very few people retire anymore. Can't afford it. Or people retire, but they still broke. The game is to basically have us working forever. We can even pay them good money. We ain't got, you know what? We gonna pay some of these people good money. They still gonna be broke. They still gonna need us their whole life. I think about that stuff and it kind of irritates me and really makes me want to figure money out. Like I said, not because I know for me, I have no desire to be rich, to be flashy, to have, all that stuff. Now I'll admit, if I watch a lot of rap videos, my mind will head in that direction sometime. I have to bring it back. But left to my own devices, I got no desire for all that flashy, rich, fancy. I just want to do the things I want to do. I just want to do the things I want to do. I've really started thinking about, I'm in my 40s now. I really started thinking about what I want my 50s to look like, what I want my 60s, 70s to look like. And that's another reason too. I'm like, okay, I'm a firm believer, do what you love, what people you love. In that framework, how do I use the income I have coming in currently to set up my late 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s? You know, when I was a younger man, I knew I could get out there and work harder than anybody else, or just as hard as everybody make coins. You start getting a little older, your body starts saying, can't do that no more. Excuse me, can't do that no more. And so, you know, it's really been hitting me that, like, okay, while we're still able to physically work, because that's the path you decided to take. Timothy was working physically, one of the paths. How do we use that money, that income, that wealth to get the life we want for the next 30, 40 years? That's where my mind has been going lately. And I'm starting to see, I'm like, oh, it's not always the money as much as it is what we do with it. You're just taught, make it, spend it. Make it, spend it, get in debt if you ain't got it. It's all about the spend. It's all about the spend. When the people who grow their money, grow their wealth, realize the opposite. It's about the not spend. It's about the not spend. It's about not spending money. No one ever got wealthy spending money. But that's all we do. And then we wonder why we're miserable. So I think, not blaming us, because like I said, if you grow up in an environment and this is what everybody says to do, that's what you naturally do. Or if people tell you that's what you're supposed to do by omission, because no one ever talks about any of it, you just you follow what you see around us. So it's not our fault that, like, I think we grow up, make it, spend it, you know, bad money choices. It is our fault, I think, once we get a little age on us, and so we've heard a couple times people be like, hey, you know, if you were to do different things with your money, you may not have to work as hard, work as long, more freedom, more control of your time. That's a big one. That is a big one. If we hear that and we still keep doing the stuff we was doing, well, then now it's on us. Now it's on us. And then we can't turn around in the future and be like, woe is me, blah, 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 blah. Because people going to look at you and be like, hey, I was out here sacrificing. I was out here living a simple life. I was out here working a budget. I was out here saving my money while still in the framework of living my life. There were some things I had to back up on, some things I couldn't allow myself to do just because I was trying to get my money right for this. You didn't do all that, so I'm not going to have sympathy now, because, like, the opportunity was there. And so that's the message is, while the opportunity is there, while we're doing all the other things I think that are important for having a happy life, that video is coming too one of these days. While we're doing all the other things I think that are important to live a happy, fruitful, fulfilled life, we have to realize that in the world we live in, finances are a big part of it. And so, like, we need to look at that too. Is there something in the way I'm handling my finances that is causing me, or down the line is going to cause me, to have less joy and happiness than I could be having? Is something I'm doing keeping me broke? Because it's hard to be happy when you're broke. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. Big shout out to the Super Chat Squad. Love each and every one of y'all. Talk to y'all later.